Okay, what's up, everybody? This is just going to be a quick Eslav starting guide. We're just going to cover general mechanics. We aren't going to go over any character-specific stuff. This game plays like BlazBlue. It has four buttons: A, B, C, D. D is kind of the unique button, um, and there's also the additional fatal button. So the first thing we are going to get into is Fatal. Fatal is the premier mechanic of this game. It's what makes this game so unique, so good. Fatal is such a deep mechanic that it would take too long to describe. Really quickly, I'm just going to throw on the screen everything it does. But in short, it can be used to force counter hits. It could be used to gain iframes. That's just a really quick starting point, but it does so much more than that. It gives you infinite potential for pressure and offense. It also has applications for defensive uses and so forth. But I highly encourage you to play around with Fatal, or like pause the video and look at everything it can do. It's a very ridiculous mechanic. Um, the next thing we're going to talk about is the risk gauge. Risk gauge, this determines how much blocking you can do until your guard broken. Once it hits zero and your opponent, does an attack that you block, you'll be guard broken. There'll just be a huge flash of blue, and you won't be able to do anything, and your opponent's going to get a big punish. And since the game says your guard broken, you are going to take additional damage from scaling on the punish your opponent gets. So it's very bad. Um, don't get guard broken, and that's going to lead us to the next topic, which is Fatal Block. Uh, Fatal Block, despite the name, is a mechanic that punishes people for buffering attacks while stuck in a block string. If the defending player inputs an attack during a block string that has no gaps, the next block attack will deal an additional 1 bar of guard bar damage, and this has a cooldown of 30 frames. This is triggered. You'll hear a glass breaking noise. You'll see this like red splash on the block animation for the defending character. Since you only have 4 bars of guard bar, you do a fatal block 4 times. That's gonna result in a guard break. Next, B plus C is parry, um, or is like the official term is tactical guard. Basically, you turn blue, and if your opponent hits you, you explode, you push them back. This has a 3 frame startup before it's fully good to go. So this isn't typically a reversal, but it does have applications on defense. It's also free; it doesn't cost you any action bar or like your normal like super gauge. If you hold the B plus C parry, then it'll start to deplete your guard bar. It'll start to put you in negative penalty, which we will get to in a minute. If you do down plus BC, that is a kind of a universal DP. Down BC costs 1 bar. You'll get this green diamond. Um, is invincible. It is pretty small relative to the other options from BC, but you can use this to get out of pressure sometimes. If you are in block stun, you can use forward BC, and that's going to give you a different type of blue diamond that pushes your opponent off of you. This costs 2 bars. And then there is burst. Burst is once around, whether you use it or not. It is A plus B plus C. It is just kind of a standard burst. It can be baited. It has 11 frames of startup. Um, and if your opponent isn't really near you, it's not going to cover 100% of the screen. It's just a big diamond area effect. Um, and it is vulnerable to fataled moves, and it is vulnerable to supers. Another universal mechanic is throw, which is A plus B. You also have air throw, which is just jump, A plus B. I believe every character has two supers. Supers cost 2 bars. They are, quarter circle forward, D, and quarter circle back, D. Another defensive option you can do while blocking is backdash. This serves as another form of guard canceling. It does cost a bar of your guard bar, and it's primarily used to put a slight pause button on the block string. It's not an end all be all. It is a good option to throw in every once in a while. Another option you can do in neutral is backdashing. Every character's backdash is fully invincible, um, but if you do backdash, it will cost 1 bar of your guard bar. Next, we are going to talk about negative penalty or meter penalty. Um, After spending meter, the action gauge will darken for about 5.5 seconds, and it reduces the amount of meter you gain. Meter penalty is a little different when you are holding parry. When you hold parry, the timer for meter penalty does not begin until after you've let go of parry. Also, meter doesn't transfer between rounds, um, but you get meter by hitting your opponent, blocking your opponent, getting hit by your opponent, and advancing towards your opponent. You also get meter over time, just like naturally, just by standing around. Um, but different characters gain meter at different rates. Um, Naturally, because some characters are faster than others. Some characters step dash. Some characters fly around. Yeah, this game is very deep. There's a bunch of different attributes to moves. Some moves are full body invincible, uh, air invincible, throw invincible, low crush, high crush. Um, just too much to name. I'm not gonna go through all mechanics, all attributes. This is just a quick start guide. Please go to Mizuumi for more information. And thank you for watching.